you go.
Yeah, go for it.
Another actor. There's a few of us. You know, every time I meet an actor, I love to, if I get the chance, to ask what their process is to get into character. And if you don't mind sharing, what's yours? If you don't mind sharing, that is.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Every part depends on who you are and what you physically, what your background is, what you know. Some roles require more effort than others. You know, you have to learn more things. You know, in Eastern Promises, I didn't speak Russian, so I had to figure out how to do that. You know, that was a lot of work, but it was interesting. You know, if you like what you're doing, just like in school, if you like the subject, you're going to learn it and you're going to retain it more easily. So, I mean, every role has different requirements, but there's one thing that I've always done from the beginning, instinctively, because it's the part I kind of like the most. You know, the researching. And then if the shoot goes really well, I mean, you're bound to make some friends along the way, no matter how the shoot goes, but if the shoot goes well, it's a bonus. If it turns out to be a good movie, great. That's even more surprising and, you know, and a good thing. As I say, I expect the worst. And, but the research is always going to be interesting. I ask myself a simple question, always, which is, what happened before page 1? And that starts in the cradle, you know, for this character. Usually that's not going to be explained to you. For a character like Aragorn, there's a lot of indices, and there's a lot of information and other things that Tolkien wrote, so I could piece it together more easily. But there was still room for imagination. There always is, you know. But most characters, you don't get that. It's like page 1, okay, what happened before that? And you can spend the rest of your life figuring out, inventing for yourself what happened. And by the time you show up on the set, if you've done that, it's an intangible thing. It's not going to be seen, but it will inform the way you move, the way you talk, the way you relate to people. You know, that's what I always do. That always helps me.
Sure. Well, cheers, mate. Enjoy your stay in Australia.
Thank you.
Viggo, welcome back to Sydney. I just want to ask you about your art, because I think you're a wonderful artist. You write, you paint, you take photographs. Is there any chance at all that you are going to bring an exhibition of your work out here to Sydney so that we can enjoy it as well?
Well, I would love to, you know, whether it's photographs or paintings, sometime I would like to. Even if there was a place that was interested, I wouldn't be able to do it for a while. I have to make new things.
Hey, even some of the works in your books would be great. Anything. Andrew, I've got the books if you want to borrow them.
Oh, thank you
so much.
Hello, Viggo. I can't speak Spanish or Danish, and my mother didn't make me do this. But I've got a copy of recent forgeries with me, and I'd love you to sign it if you would, please.
Sure. Do you have a pen?
As if I wouldn't.
Just talk amongst yourselves. There is somebody in the microphone. 2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
2 more before.
Hi, Viggo. I'm just interested in the character John. At the start of the movie, he seems to be searching for meaning, a man who seems to be lost from himself and searching for some conviction. At the end of the movie, it seems to all hit him. And I'm just wondering, where is the place of redemption for him? Or do you think that he's just going to go into that slide into madness?
I don't know what's going to happen to him, and that's why I like the movie. I don't think that, you know, and again, that's a subversion of genre and of movies in general. There is no redemption. You know, it's work. It's a process. A democracy or a relationship, a friendship. It's just a word. It doesn't mean anything. It's a process, you know. And you know, it's a movie that reaffirms the value of paying attention. Paying attention, first of all, to yourself and your instincts, you know. I mean, he writes this book that the authority sees on about euthanasia, and yet when he's with his mom and she wants to end her life, he doesn't want that. You know, when it becomes real and it's personal, and he thinks about it, you know, maybe not, you know, but he doesn't listen to himself when the signs start coming that he's on the wrong road, and you know.
Thank you. Could I just ask, would you do me the honour of actually reading a script that I've written? Could I please bring it down to give to you?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for the last question we have,
mindful of the time constraints, I'm not asking a question, just going to give you a small gift as well. It's the soundtrack to a movie that I composed the music for. It was had